Setting up the recording. All right, so the meeting is live. Ms. Phillips, you can go ahead there.
Okay, I'll call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please, Doug.
Lawson. Here. Chase. Here.
I can't hear.
Derland.
Here.
Ferguson. Nachinsky. Mella.
Here.
Phillips.
Here.
Stockdale. Everyone present. 9.
Okay. Approval of minutes of the regular meeting held February 18th, 2020 are attached. The secretary recommends that the meetings be approved as presented, and I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion or corrections? Oh. Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, tonight we do not have a student report, and the only report we have is, oh, we have Mrs. Cross?
Yes.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you for everyone for taking the time to come out. I know this is a very serious matter, and I thank you all for taking the extra efforts to be here tonight. And the reason for this meeting is very important. We have a couple items, extra items added to the agenda, as you will see when we get down there, to help our kids and our students and our teachers and everyone involved, staff members, to get through this if it should go much longer, which from what I'm hearing, I think it will, but let's cross our fingers that it doesn't. So also a couple items that I would like to share with you. Currently, the House is in session, and the Senate, there are a couple things that they are looking at to change in our school code. And I was hoping that I would be able to bring to you some answers, but I think they are currently still meeting on this. It went before this morning. It was in session, and then it was to be available to the public for 3 hours, according to the Sunshine Act. That went into effect at 1 o'clock. So at 4 o'clock, they went into session, and I have not heard anything yet, but I have a list of what they're looking to change. And as soon as I hear anything, I will be sure to update you. One of the things I know we're getting information on and questions about are our bus contractors. So I just want to share some information on things that I think as a board we need to think about. What is being decided and what is being looked at in this change is described at, and what is being proposed to districts if it's passed. If we pay 40 to 60% of our current contract, then the state will continue our state subsidy. So if we pay our contractors 40 to 60% of what we are contracted to pay, whether the bus is full or not of kids, then the state will reimburse us our state subsidy. However, if we don't pay our contractors, and again, it's not voted on, this is what's being proposed, okay, if this comes through, then we won't receive anything from the state. All right, and this will affect us 2 years from now. Not this next year, but 2 years. And that could, if we don't come back to school, that could be 1/3, which is a big difference and is a significant difference. So in other words, we pay a roughly amount biweekly of roughly $49,000. 40% biweekly is 18,981.34. That's a biweekly amount. Okay, so that's what's being proposed for bus contractors for transportation right now. I think that's important to know. If it's passed, if this bill that they're talking about right now is passed, it could affect us. So we have to keep that in mind for our bus contractors. Again, it's being discussed. Nothing has been passed yet, but they are thinking of bus contractors. All right. We're proposing an MOU about our support staff. I have that in your folder for you. Another thing, PSBA, one thing you could keep in mind is our meetings. Board meetings can happen every 2 months. Okay, so something to think about, and you can take a vote on if this continues. We can meet again virtually like this. The social distancing, we're okay. We can meet virtually. I don't know, Anthony and Jessica can tell us how they feel about this. Or we can go with 2 months. Okay. For the public? Okay, he's probably answering that right now. Maybe. Should I stop?
Are you looking for my input, Patty? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Gabe just shared with us that he thinks the live streaming is not working. So we're pausing for a moment.
Okay.
All right, thanks. Pull that up.
Just ask you to remind everybody when you do talk, turn your microphones on because they can't hear you.
Kim was reminding everyone to turn on their microphones. When they want to speak.
I just got confirmation from a member of the public saying it's working on their end, so on my personal line.
Okay, thank you,
Yeah,
Anthony.
I was just able to pull it up here.
Okay.
Sounds like, I don't know if we want to make an announcement, but it sounds like I just got a message from parents that said, if you try to log on using like a standard Gmail account, it doesn't work. Log on as a school account, like let me see if I can change that setting.
Okay. We're finding out that possibly if you have a school account, that's the better account to use to log. Okay, so should we continue?
It is being recorded, Mr. Levitsky, but is that sufficient for posting afterwards?
So it's not a touchscreen.
You gotta use your mouse, it's not touchscreen. Are we live?
Yes,
Okay.
it is being recorded and therefore that meets the requirements of Pennsylvania Sunshine Act.
Okay. So we can continue the meeting, and as soon as it's over, I'll post the recording online for people that aren't able to access the live stream. I'll see if I can get the live stream working right now.
That is correct.
Okay.
So our May meeting would be May 12th and May 19th. So as a board, that would be something to discuss and think about. There has been no discussion as of yet in changing the budget cycle. So as far as we have been told as a superintendent, as business managers, there has been no pushback on when the budget will be due. The final budget will still be due June 30th, which means we still have to meet all the timelines. And also, as far as the auditorium and reconstruction of the auditorium, the contractor, or excuse me, the architects and the engineers just emailed me today and said they're ready to go if we would like to do the meeting, continue with the meeting virtually, or again, it's just to talk about the budget, excuse me, the bidding process. And it is pretty cut and dry. They have to follow what the insurance will allow them to do and just to get the bid specs out to go. It's really not, it's for you if you have any questions on the bidding part. And it's really not the public can listen, but it's not really open for discussion. That one comes after the bids come in, and then we can entertain, questions from that point forward on what we're doing inside the auditorium. This is more to get the bid specs ready to go out to get bids back from the construction companies and such. So we can decide, you can decide how you want to move forward, if we want to keep the same timeline on that to keep the process moving for the bids. And, our goal was to have it done by Christmas or by December of 2020. So if we want to keep moving forward, I just talked to them again today and they're ready to go for you to give that presentation if you'd like. And I believe that's, and I have a handout for you. We did when we were told about the essential personnel and who that was, we did a timeline and who that is, that's in your folder on who our essential is. And I am telling you, they are pretty strict. Yesterday, we had a meeting every day at noon. Superintendents are meeting with the IU virtually to talk about any updates and what schools they're doing and how are you doing it. And yesterday, one of the districts had the police sitting in their parking lot to make sure that your essentials and non-essentials were not being violated according to who is on the essential list. So yes, they're taking it pretty seriously. And that's all I have, but if you have any questions, please don't be afraid to ask. And I thank you. The food distribution is going very well, and we have been approved for the waiver for one site for the breakfasts and the lunches from our cafeteria staff. We're getting that together. We've ordered some food and we're coming up with a distribution site. We're allowed one site and it's D&D here in the port. Doug can explain why that place and why only one, if you would like. And we're getting ready to put that together and get that in place. We will do a voice, a robocall to let everybody know. It's for everybody, but we have to have one place. It's for all of our students. And we will get that word out as soon as we're ready to go. But if you have questions on why we had to file the waiver and why we were given only one place, I'll let Doug explain that. It was crazy that happened, but it did. And with his tenacity and filing the waiver and Cindy Fitzgerald helping out, we did get it in place, and we're happy for that. And unfortunately, it took a week and a half, but it's here. So thank you, Doug. And that's all I have.
Okay. Mr. Lindner, do you have anything?
I can just describe the waiver process. What the USDA or PDE is doing for food service, if you have a free and reduced population above 50%, districts can participate in what they call the seamless summer option, which is you provide at a site remote to the district throughout the summer for breakfast and lunch, and you can count those. However, in our district, we're about 39% in the high school and just over 40% in the elementary school. So unlike a lot of districts in the northern tier, we don't automatically qualify. So when this COVID-19 came out, they had a new program where they called it, the Seamless Summer Option COVID-19, which was you could apply for a waiver, and then based on the last census density map of poverty in your districts, you could select a site within those areas for distribution. I had wanted to do one in Forksville, one in Dewshore, and one here in LaPorte. LaPorte was the only density area on the census map that qualified. So you looked out towards Forksville. I know that this sounds odd, but when they do the census, remember they're using, if you have a lot of retirees, of course, all the income isn't counted in the state of Pennsylvania because it's, your Social Security and retirement income don't count. So it looks like you have a density of population without income. And then you have an area like Dewshore where we know as residents, there is a concentration, but yet it's specifically excluded. So we do have it set up. I did get the waiver approved and it's set up for D&D. So when we look at that, another area, if this continues that we could look at would be the Mildred area. If we wanted to do another site, that's the other part of the county that shows up in the census density map that we would be able to serve. So in these meals, it would essentially be a tally. It wouldn't be a name or an account. We would have to serve any young person 18 and younger, regardless of whether they attend here, because we'd be giving subsidy for those meals. So they show up at the area, we just check off, they took a breakfast bag, they took a lunch bag, that's all they need to do. So that's how that program will run once we get it moving forward.
Who will administrate that, Doug?
It will be our kitchen staff. They'll be preparing meals probably in a rotational basis and taking them to the site, and someone will have to be there from our program to do the tally sheets.
So D&D is just the pickup site. That's what they'll do.
Yeah, when I talk to Denny, they have a nice covered porch there. We don't want to intrude in their space at all. This would be kind of like a drive-by thing. If any of you were aware of what Patty had coordinated with Mary Beth in Dewshore, was kind of a drive-by pickup of food boxes from the North Central food. So it would be more or less the same thing. But, we can provide, milk, fresh fruit, vegetables, all that kind of stuff. Cindy could even prepare things that could be heated later. So if she made spaghetti, it could be served in a reheatable container that they could, put in the microwave and reheat, that sort of thing. We can do more than bologna sandwiches, you know what I mean? But since we participate in the DoD fresh fruit program, fruit and vegetables, we'd be able to get some of those nutritious items to them, plus their milk and juice, things like that.
Mr. Mavis?
We're back to zero audio again. Everybody's mic is turned off.
Sorry about that, Anthony.
No problem.
Just,
I get the feedback. So
sharing that I'm about to post on our website an account or account information for members of the public trying to access the live stream. This is my first time using Google Meet for this type of event, and it is tucked away in their fine print that you need to be part of the same domain. I'm also posting a note that the meeting's being recorded and that recording will be posted this evening.
Anything else, Mr. Mavis?
I'd like to thank several of our teachers that have been in touch with me regarding different questions they had, different ideas they had on how we can best serve our students during this time period. And I actually have another video meeting scheduled with them tomorrow to hopefully we get some further updates from PDE and we can provide some more clarity. That's all. Thank you.
Lance, are you talking about like learning
Okay,
sessions?
thank you. Go ahead, Anthony.
I didn't know, Lance, you were saying just the information you were posting on our site. I didn't know if you were talking about like online learning of some sort. I understand. I know we can't be grading things and things of that nature, but I didn't know if like an online like review for certain grades was being discussed of any nature, anything like that.
Yeah. Sorry, Dave. Let me check the. So online learning options have been discussed amongst our teachers on a wider level. Blast IU17 has been in discussions with we've had multiple tech coordinators meetings to discuss, what different options are available. But a lot of this stuff, we need guidance and clarity from the PDE level, from the state level, and then subsequently from, then we'll have to make some local decisions. And once that guidance is provided to me, I am confident that the teachers that I work with in a group called the Technology Focus Group, that we'll be able to create training materials and tutorials for not only our staff members, but our students and our families to make the most of this.
Thanks, Lance. I know this wasn't something that we all planned out, so I understand the timing and how much it's going to take, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, and just on that note, since it's not planned out, we are going to run into some logistical issues, with things that are kind of outside of our control in terms of, what hardware is available. I've already, like last week, I contacted our Verizon rep, anticipating that we would have not like a huge number of families without internet at home, but some number of families without internet at home, and what hotspots were in stock for them. And last week I was told none, and they weren't anticipating shipping until the end of April. And so I can't imagine that number that timeline has gotten any better. Internally, we have enough Chromebooks, or we're one-to-one with Chromebooks grades 3 through 12. So all of those students are covered. I am 100% certain that we have enough spares to do grade 2 as well. And that without ordering any additional devices. And then kindergarten and first grade, I'd have to see exactly. And then yet again, we have to, figure out, if we were to want to go out and purchase additional devices for kindergarten, first graders, what kind of a timeline would those get shipped to us on?
The IU is also taking all of these superintendents and they're looking at how many districts are looking at purchasing Chromebooks. They're looking at bulk purchasing. They're looking at, okay, how many are also suffering with the hotspots and are they able to, whether they're doing mass ordering or mass purchasing, how can we work together? There are a lot of districts who don't even have internet service or cell service within their district. So how are we struggling with that and how are we working together to overcome those difficulties? There's so much that's working on. The state are giving us 3 options. Do we educate our kids? Do we continue with the review and the enrichment? And then, of course, we have a lot of laws that we have to follow. IDEA and special education rules and laws that we have to follow. So there is a lot that we're putting forward. And once we get all of this guidance, our administrative team, Lance has been working very hard because it's the online piece that looks like the best option, but we have to meet all of our kids. So how do you get to the kids that don't have the internet service or the cell service? So there's some plans that we're trying to get in place for everybody to meet everybody's needs, particularly the seniors that are going to be graduating. And then the 9th graders who only met half of or 3/4 of the algebra class that have to take the Keystones next year. They still are going to be obligated to take the test. Or they're going to Algebra 2, or that, the course that you get first level this year and next year's level course. So planning for the beginning of next year. So there's a lot that everybody's working together because we're all in the same boat. So it's nice that we're all working together in unique situations as well.
Just throwing it out there, would it be possible to have, because we're sitting too close together. What I was going to say is if it would be possible to get some open Wi-Fi at some point in time, because the one thing that, hang on, they're getting some major feedback.
I tried to look at my volume button.
What I was saying is that obviously I know there's some things you have to go through to check into, but one thing that most families have in some form or fashion is a cell phone. I think that stats on that is the amount of cell phones that are available is maybe it's possible to download stuff from open Wi-Fi. Even they could even do it from their cars. I don't know if the school, just throwing it out there, my wife and I were chatting about it. You wouldn't even have to get out of your car if there was a set up where you could pull an open Wi-Fi from a distance, download it onto your phone. I know it sounds crazy, but there's ways to get data and information. Just throwing it out there because we are opening it up, and we did post it publicly, but our daycare centers are closed, but we set up print stations. So students or parents, and we have had people reach out to us to do it, they can email our daycare and we'll have someone print it out and it'll be ready for them. Because it's closed, I mean, my wife and some of her staff are available all day, every day. So right now, there are some people taking advantage of that if they don't have a printer at home. So I'm just throwing it out there. There's ways, even if you could get it on your phone in an email and you couldn't actually get it on a computer with your child, the potential exists that maybe we could set up print stations where people could forward the email, forward the document, print it out physically, and then they could come pick it up at, if we're the only location, but we could do that in different segments. Is the Do you have is there anything going on, Patty, as far as, I mean, I know there's certain restrictions on what we can and can't do, but is there any plan from the school on, like what we're going to try to do to bridge the gap, just from what we currently have the ability to do or achieve?
Yeah, I've been working on a plan, and in fact, that's great to know. Thank you, because I'm thinking of the old fashioned. What would we do if we didn't have technology? So we're meeting with the admin. As I was waiting, Friday is when we scheduled our meeting, when we thought we were only 2 weeks, but it may be Thursday or Friday. Right now, it's scheduled for Friday. But thinking about just I don't want to kind of give it away, but emailing and downloading and running copies, and lesson plans coming in for 2 or 3 weeks, downloading papers and worksheets and printing them off and then mailing them to families. I mean, we have to think outside the box. What would we do if we didn't have technology, and how would we get it out to families? And this social distancing. I even thought about hotspots, dandies, but I think, if we if we print things, mail them to families, something to that extent. So yes, I've been working on, but I also need feedback from the principals. They know the families very well. Teachers, they know their families very well. So I think the hybrid, there's going to be some online, but I also think kindergarten, first grade, I think, worksheets and phone calls, teachers picking up the phone and calling, paraprofessionals picking up the phone and talking to their kids, if you don't have internet, but everybody probably has a phone or a cell phone. So let's pick up the phone and make contact with the families and with the kids. Email or mailing, simply mailing something.
And not to keep continuing, but as far as if there's critical stages, there's a thing called Zoom.
Yes.
And they're insanely interactive and easy to use. There are some free download portions. Of course, if you want the advanced, there's a fee for being part of it, but some of those might be a way to get your classrooms like online, even if someone could listen in. I know there's an app on an iPhone. So if you have an iPhone or an Android, you can actually look at the app and look at the visuals on your phone. And it's kind of a really easy point and click, quick download.
Yeah, thank you. We've been getting inundated from all kinds of get this free, get that free.
Yeah, I bet.
Poor Lance.
Well, that'll be interesting.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions before we move on for Lance or Patty or Doug? Okay, we're going to go to public input. That would be you, Lance.
As of right now, we have no public input.
Seeing that we have no public input, the executive session will be at the end of the meeting with no action taken
For a legal matter.
for a legal matter. And we'll go to finance, Mr. Blasey.
We can't hear.
Microphone good.
Finance Committee recommends acceptance of the following reports: the Treasurer's Report, the Cafeteria Fund, the Building Fund, and the Capital Project Fund. I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. The second was Hal. Roll call, please.
Blasi,
Yes.
Chase,
Kim, you're on.
Is there any discussion before we? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Blasi,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Comfort,
Yes.
Derland,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Nachinsky,
Yes.
Nella,
Yes.
Stucco,
Yes.
9-0.
know we're trying here, but apparently there's no outside audio. I don't know whether you want me to wait or,
I would wait. I would wait.
okay, all right. Yeah, let's see. No, actually, it was actually one of the teachers. Yeah, they can't hear us.
We absolutely need.
What's that?
We absolutely need so that everyone can hear.
Yeah.
So please wait.
What's that?
We absolutely need so that everyone can hear.
Yeah.
So it might be on their end.
Okay.
So that's the live stream.
All right. All right, we'll give it a shot again. 8B, the Finance Committee recommends acceptance of the following check registers and February budget summary. Total is $1,468,558.65. I so move.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Chase,
Yes.
Comfort, Derland,
Yes.
Ferguson, Jaczynski,
Yes.
Manella,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Stockdale,
Yes.
Blasi. Motion passes 9-0.
Finance Committee recommends approval of CNN Bank as the depository for the Capital Projects Fund. I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Comfort,
Yes.
Derland,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Jaczynski,
Yes.
Manella,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Stockdale,
Yes.
Blasi,
Yes.
Chase.
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0.
Finance Committee recommends acceptance of the audit of real estate tax collection for the 1819 from Baker Tilly. I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Derland,
Yes.
Ferguson, Jaczynski,
Yes.
Manella,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Stockdale,
Yes.
Blasi,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Comfort.
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0.
The Finance Committee recommends acceptance of the Kiwanis Club donation of $1,000 for the CHS art field trip to Pittsburgh. I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
What if the trip is not paid, please? Will refund it?
Did you hit your mic?
You're on mute, Frank.
Frank, asked if the trip did not happen, what would happen to the $1,000 the Kiwanis Club donated to the field trip?
I would assume that the art teacher would make that gesture to ask to return the donation back. And yes, go from there. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion or comments? Roll call.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Nichinsky,
Yes.
Nella,
Yes. Yes.
Nella. Okay. Stockstill,
Yes.
Flossie,
Yes.
Chase, Comfort, Derlin,
Yes.
That would be a yes substitute.
motion passed 9-2.
For F, I have a question. Is that something, I can't recall if that was on the original agenda or if that was added?
No, this acceptance of the 5-year food service management bid on this timeline. This, we had bid acceptance on the 20th of March. And, you know, our meeting was the 17th, so this would be an April meeting. But like Patty was saying, we have these contractual timelines that we have to continue to have. Now, this is the acceptance of the contents, just the bid. So when we had this, the food service bid, every 5 years you have to rebid the food service management contract. You have to post in 2 newspapers for 3 weeks. We did 3 newspapers, Towanda, Williamsport, and the Sullivan for 3 weeks. You have to contact 5 vendors. I contacted 6 vendors. You have to have the walkthrough, which we had in February, and it's mandatory to come to the building walkthrough as a vendor in order to participate in the bid. The nutrition group was the only one to submit, or excuse me, to come to the pre-bid walk. So they're the only ones legally that can provide a bid. We have a bid here just so I can, if the board would accept a bid, what happens is I send it to PDE, they review it, then they go back, I guess, look at it, it's a proper bid, and comes back to the board to vote approve. So it's just accepting the bid package, so now that I can send it to PDE for them to review, approve, back to the board. The board accepts or approves the bid, and then that's the way that 5-year contract works. So I have here.
Is it in line with past years as far as the financials?
Yes. Yeah. Really, they try to. What I have to provide them, it's a lengthy information. I give them essentially an estimated cost of our operation, the salary portion or their contract portion, what historically our meal service has been, what our subsidy receipts are, and essentially it's supposed to be a break even kind of thing. So they haven't increased their admin management fee, which is really for
I apologize, but
Cindy Fitzgerald.
you're
Other than
getting a lot of
you know, our numbers for participation and our salary of our support staff that are in it.
All right. The administration recommends acceptance of the 5-year food service management bid proposal from the Nutrition Group, Inc. So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Nichinsky,
Yes.
Pinella,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Stockstill,
Yes.
Flossie, Chase, Comfort, Derlin,
yeah.
Derlin,
Yes.
and if you can give me a thumbs up for a vote. Ferguson,
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0.
Administration recommends approval of a memorandum of understanding with Sullivan County. Well, before I continue on with this, did everyone get a chance to actually take this and read it? It's new, it wasn't part of the original board packet.
Yes.
It just came up tonight. What it basically is, they had asked if they were getting, I'm sorry. They had asked if they were getting paid, and they have a contract with us, and basically our support staff, Cindy is, Shoemaker is the board president, and they had asked if they were getting paid. According to their contract, they get paid when the kids are here. So physically, the kids are not here. And so they were concerned, and basically it's when they have two things: that we could lay them off and they could get unemployment without health benefits, or we could follow this memorandum of understanding where we would pay them and follow this understanding and find work for them. And actually, I think with the public, they do very good work for us, and they do help us in every situation. They want work for us. There are things that we can find for them to do in this plan as we move forward. If it is something that we're going to be doing long term, I feel that we can find and they help us do something to help our kids along the way. So I feel very good in coming up with this plan and this memorandum of understanding, and ensure that we do right by them, they do right by us, and we can make this work. I just feel like,
Your audio here.
oh, I'm sorry. I don't know, if you just want to take a few minutes to read over this and see if it's something that we can work through. I think it's the right thing to do.
What about
Sue, their union serve rep, thought it was good. Ken looked over it, thought it was good. I do know it's bad timing, but because of what this extended 2 weeks that the governor put on us, I was hoping it was only 2 weeks. That's why we do payroll tomorrow. So it could have been make up days over Easter break, and we would have been fine. But now that it's extended 2 more weeks, maybe again 4 more weeks, maybe to the end of the school year. That's why I believe a memorandum of understanding should be in place.
Okay. Jessica, you don't have that.
Yeah, I was a little late. I sent it to your email. It's to your Sullivan County email. I sent it about 5:45, Anthony and Jessica. As an attachment.
And I was going to the contract allow house such a memorandum.
If anybody should want to know, I keep texting my phone. Jessica is texting me when she can't hear us.
The center on your machine is talking to pick up.
Do Anthony and Jess, do you guys need time to read that? Should we come back?
Yes, we should come back to it. I'd like to look over it because Patty's audio was cutting out and I barely understood what this memorandum is about.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, unfortunately, a ton of feedback.
This is another thing that similar districts are.
All right, we'll come back to that. The next one is, for H, again, this was added to the agenda. I just have questions about two things. One, seems really broad and open in regards to the desired outcome. And the second thing is with technology, would it be completely possible for us to have, a remote board meeting or something, if there were an issue that arose where we needed to approve it or needed to make concessions to do something contractually? I'm just throwing it out there before I pose the motion. I think it's pretty broad. It's a broad statement.
This is a recommendation that came to all of the districts via the IU, via the Pennsylvania Department of Ed. This is a very common statement that has gone to all districts. I've seen this one before, not even in this dire need of panoramics, but because it is a national disaster, this is something that is put in place for the exact reason. If boards cannot get together quickly, it's to basically just pay bills and to run a district so that if we cannot get together and things have to be done to run a very moderate business as business so that we can get things done.
It definitely describes the continuation in regards to employment relations and contracts. I don't think that paying bills would be a concern in this time, even though we are in somewhat of a crisis. I mean, we go 30-day bill pay now. I'm just throwing it out there. I personally think that statement is insanely broad in regards to referencing back and doing a retroactive approval on anything, really. I mean, I totally understand the need for getting, life isn't the same as it was 3 weeks ago or even 3 days ago. But I think with technology and the way that it is, I think we've proven out the fact that we can hold firm with actually having a meeting by doing what we're doing tonight. I also think that there's other concessions that can be made with technology. And I think we've all proven that one thing for sure, Kim as our president, usually within hours, she can get in contact with all of us to actually approve or make a motion or get something moved ahead. I would say 24 hours would be an extensive time frame. That's all I have to say about that.
Let me agree to that. So if we're going to do a meeting under an emergency, so that's what you would have to post it 24 hours on the building, and it could be done remotely way you're describing. You could do it by phone, trying to find out, but not in a situation where you're in an emergency. Remember, the government declare an emergency, you would just need to do the notice requirement still apply, which is 24-hour requirement. We wouldn't have to ask us. Good.
This was with this board. Every contract requires approval. So that would, if Lance would try to get some type of technology, we can't enter into any type of purchase agreement with a vendor or even talking about all of that is considered a contract. So we would have to have an emergency meeting just for us to approve something as simple as in contract or a Verizon contract or a lease contract for equipment. You know, so we can't approve anything without board, or we can't sign anything without board approval. So it's easy, something as simple as that. We can't offer new service.
I'm not trying to be tough, but I think it's something that would be something as simple as under an emergency, within hours, you could have approval by this board. Considering our connectivity.
Some sort of a threshold, dollar threshold or something that would give authority. That's one way to do it. And the other is wire approval. So same thing, like from could go and engage for that. We need that 24 hours. I think that this would decide.
What would be so important that it would be different than during a regular school year?
That's kind of wrong.
I mean, what's the difference in regular school year where we meet once a month, and that's I don't see it right now. Emergency. What are they going to go after that's going to be?
It's like, we're going to have those online platforms and
like after the people meet on Friday and they say, we want to go forward with this, we have to sign an agreement on type of service. So that would be that. Then you'd have to meet over the weekend or Monday before we could, if we would need an agreement for a streaming service for hardware purchase or something like that.
I still go back to it would be as simple as Kim reaching out to our board and saying, look, we're in a crisis situation. We need to adjust our contract with our local communications company, Verizon, so on and so forth. Please, give us an idea if that's okay, so we can proceed and move forward. We can do a formalized approval at the next board meeting. We just did it. I mean, we just had that conversation recently.
And you would have to post it.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm not making a motion. I mean,
If you guys can.
anyone can.
somebody else on the finance committee.
I don't think it's necessary. I don't think we can handle the day-to-day business in other regards without putting a broad-based. That's all I have for finance. Anthony, were you able to read it as well? Were you able to read it well, Anthony?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Can you hear him?
I can barely hear.
Okay, I'm gonna call in.
Hang on.
You can call in, let me send him.
Hold on, I'll just chat.
Anybody could make it, because these are all administration recommends. Yeah, but I'm just saying, anybody can make it. I'm not sure I want to make it. I don't understand. Well,
Just so
sorry.
Anthony, that's the know we're back on number G, administration recommends approval of the memorandum of understanding with Sullivan County Educational Support Professional Association.
I'll read the motion and then give you a. I just note on the chat.
Read the motion.
Yeah, okay, we'll go to G. Administration recommends approval of memorandum of understanding with the Sullivan County Educational Support Professionals Association for compensation for the remainder of the 2019-2020 school year. I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Pinella? Phillips? Stockton?
Yes.
Blasi? Chase? Comfort? Derlin? Do we even have?
Yes.
Yeah, we lost. Derlin?
You guys hear me now?
Okay,
Can you
put
hear
your
me?
camera on and give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Is that a thumbs up?
Can you guys hear me? I'm not on mute.
Anthony, was that a vote, affirmative vote?
Do you guys hear anything I'm saying?
Anthony, can you give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
Anthony,
You have to
can you
repeat that again. Can you hear me? I can hear Gabe, yes.
I can hear him.
We just read and took a roll call on finance G. Need you to vote yes or no.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to vote no because I have no idea what I'm voting on at the current moment.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, we took a vote on item G under finance, and we need a yes or no vote.
1 second. I'm reopening the new agenda. I'm looking at the old one that did not have it on the line item. So give me just 1 second, please.
There you go. Now we can hear it on your machine. There's a chat. I don't know if you could submit his via chat. Anthony, can you still hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep. Were you able to read the memorandum?
Yeah, so this memorandum is what we were talking about, correct? About basically relieving some of our duties as a board.
Yeah, this is basically the memorandum is for the support staff and to pay them for the remainder of the 19 and 20 school year. I think Patty sent it out. I don't know if you got a chance to read it or not.
Yeah, I'll be an abstain. I did not read it. I'm sorry.
Okay. That's fine. All right.
Nachinsky?
I have to.
The motion passes. How did I miss this? Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Ferguson?
Yes.
The motion passes 7 yes and 2 abstentions.
That's all I have for finance.
Look at that page. Yeah, okay. Doug, I have 2 questions on 8. Okay, so we can maybe have something that we can vote on. Number 1, if, and I just don't quite understand the emergency, we need to do it. But if the electric goes out and we need to call the electric company in, we don't need board approval. Okay, if the computer shut down and we need computers back up, we don't need board approval. Okay, so what would it be that you would do it to that you need board approval? That this is making what kind of thing, you know? I don't understand the situation. I mean, if the baseball court gets flooded and we need to bring dirt in, we don't need board approval.
Basically, the online services, we need to change our curriculum based on decisions that how we would do our lives in the business. That's the main thing we were.
What if we don't approve it then? I mean, what if you spend $500 and we say no? Well,
I don't see a need for, I don't see a need for it. I mean, I think we can get you.
That would be our hands on before our kids. We just.
What, give me example, okay, the kids need a lesson. Okay, you're.
Well.
I'm trying to figure it out so that he brought up that I kind of.
There's some unknowns that we're not familiar with. So those unknowns, like, I don't know this happening right now in this bill. You understand? So the unknowns, so now if we have to approve, before we can move forward, we'll have to meet again virtual, which is fine. This is fine. This was a recommendation that came down. I believe we said our mind,
We did the same thing.
So they came down. And if that's it, that's fine. We'll can call and make it reconvene. I'm going to say that.
I'm not happy with this. Okay, I think it's a good solution. I mean, this is barely a meeting because we can hear each other or guess what we're saying. I mean, we need to be in a room together. Matter of fact, one of the things that we did at DIU, okay, is we have to have our meetings all of them have virtual now. Okay. But we have everybody. And I see them on the screen, they're on the screen in front of me, and they're talking, we're talking, and the last meeting, we had a lawyer there, he was also on the screen, because we need to be places. Okay, so I would be nervous if we had something really important that we needed to approve, and we were trying to do it this way, where he doesn't know what I'm saying, you know what he's saying. I don't think this is a solution for approving things. So I still need something. I just can't imagine. You know, if it's anything that you're going to do, and this is you, if it's anything they're going to do that we're not going to approve, it's pretty crazy to do.
And it's too late if you already done it, because this
No, it's
kid,
not too late. We could say no. Who's responsible? If you say we're going to spend $500 on a computer program, and we say, dude, that's the stupidest thing in the world, and we say no, do you pay that $5,000? Okay, does that pay that $5,000? Or, okay, does the lawyer pay $5,000? I mean, I don't know. I mean, so when we approve this, we're saying whatever you want. Okay, I'm not gonna approve. Okay, because almost everything here we approve. It's just, I can't imagine. I can't imagine, you know, how that would, if we say no. Okay.
If you look at the.
and technically by law, if there was an emergency situation, and you can back me, I'm no attorney, we could get a setup where there is an appropriate quorum to actually approve something that's necessary for the district to continue on, whatever it may be. 24 hours, the worst case scenario for us to move completely forward with anything.
You don't have to close 24 hours.
Yeah, I know, that goes back to this crazy board.
If you look at this, you'll notice that it says memorandum of understanding and other agreements as necessary for continuation of employment relations and other contracts. So I'm taking the view that this is not for anything that would want to be approved. This is for employment relations.
But when you use the terms other contracts, that is so broad, it could be anything. It could be any contract.
And other contracts.
And other contracts.
That's the important part of this.
I just personally, again, I don't see the need. I don't see the need. I think we can move the district, we can move the school, we can move decisions with no more than a 24-hour time gap. I mean, right now, I guess I'm pushing, but I don't know what the plan is currently. So I'm not sure that there's a need for speed, because we don't know what we're gonna do tomorrow anyway at 7:30 in the evening. So I think it's too ambiguous and too broad based.
I don't, you know, this is
As the assistant board secretary, this was not adversarial. This is just trying to be forward for the board. So I think anyone's argument, you know, it's not our adversary.
I'm good.
So do you have to have a motion to remove it? Or
No.
we just don't have to, we don't even have to bring it?
no one makes a motion that it's not even done.
It's dead.
Okay, seeing how, H not going to be made into a motion, we will move on to athletics and health. Mr. Stuckdale?
Athletics and health. The Athletics and Health Committee recommends the acceptance of a letter of resignation from Kelly Flottemesh as the junior high cross-country coach, and I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Phillips,
Yes.
Stockton,
Yes.
Blossing,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Comfort,
Yes.
Derlin,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Kaczynski,
Yes.
Pinella.
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0.
Item B, the Athletics and Health Committee recommends the acceptance of a letter of resignation from Lance Mavis as a junior high soccer coach, and I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Stockton,
Yes.
Blossing,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Comfort,
Yes.
Derlin,
He has his speaker off.
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Jaczynski,
Yes.
Pinella,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
9-0.
Item C, the Athletics and Health Committee recommends the approval to hire Matt Muthler as the junior high soccer coach. And I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call?
Flossie,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Comfort,
Yes.
Derlin, Derlin,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Jaczynski,
Yes.
Pinella,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes. Yes.
Stockton.
Yes,
Motion passes 9-0.
and that's all we have for athletics and health.
Thank you. Buildings and grounds, Chase?
Item A, information, use of facilities requests have been received from Sullivan County High School for Spring Fling Dance, the Sullivan County National Honor Society for dance fundraising for a community member, and the Sullivan County Youth Leadership to host a youth basketball camp. And that is all for buildings and ground.
Curriculum and student activities, Mrs. Pinella, do you want to do that, or would you like Mrs. Ferguson to do it?
I think Becca should read it if she doesn't mind.
Becca, Ms. Ferguson can handle it. Thank you.
I have it. Under curriculum, item A, the Curriculum and Student Activities Committee recommends acceptance of an agreement with Behavioral Health Services to provide psychiatric outpatient, psychiatric evaluation, medication management, and therapy services as needed. And I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Chase,
Yes.
Comfort,
Yes.
Derlin, Derlin,
Gave a thumbs up.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Jaczynski,
Yes.
Pinella,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes. Yes.
Stockton,
Yes.
Flossie.
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0.
Item B, Curriculum and Student Activities Committee recommends approval of a seventh grade ancient history textbook. And I so move.
Second. Sorry.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item C, the Curriculum and Student Activities Committee recommends approval of an eighth grade geography textbook. And I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item D, the Curriculum and Student Activities Committee recommends approval of a ninth grade American History 1 and American History 2 textbooks. And I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item E, the Curriculum and Student Activities Committee recommends approval of an agreement for the district to participate in an advanced manufacturing pre-apprenticeship program with the Pennsylvania College of Technology. And I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Comfort,
Yes.
Derlin,
Yes.
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 Ferguson,
Yes.
Jaczynski,
Yes.
Pinella,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Stockton,
Yes.
Flossie,
Yes.
Chase.
Yes.
Motion carries 9-0.
Item F, the Curriculum and Student Activities Committee recommends approval of an agreement with the Pennsylvania College of Technology to provide the Penn College Now Concurrent Enrollment Partnership Program, and I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Derland,
Yes. Yes.
Ferguson, Jaczynski,
Yes.
Pinella,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Stockton,
Yes.
Flossie, Chase,
Yes.
Comfort.
Yes.
Motion carries 9-0.
Item G, Curriculum and Student Activities Committee recommends approval of the request from the class of 2020 for a senior class trip to Ohio on May 26th through May 28th, 2020, and I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ferguson, Jaczynski,
Yes.
Pinella,
Yes.
Phillips,
No.
Stockton,
Yes.
Flossie,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Comfort,
Yes.
Derland,
Yes.
I think that was a yes.
motion passes 8 yes, 1 no.
Item H is informational. A list of high school textbooks for disposal is available in the district office, and that's all for curriculum and student activities.
Thank you, Mr. Griffin. Personnel, Ms. Pace.
Item A, the Personnel Committee recommends acceptance with regret of a letter of resignation from Megan Selleck, Elementary Secretary, effective June 12th, 2020, and I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Jaczynski,
Yes.
Pinella,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Stockton,
Yes.
Flossie, Chase,
Yes.
Comfort,
Yes.
Derland,
Yes.
Ferguson. Motion passes 9-0.
Item B, the Personnel Committee recommends acceptance with regret of a letter of resignation from Jennifer Spako, paraprofessional, effective March 13th, 2020, and I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Pinella,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Stockton,
Yes.
Flossie, Chase,
Yes.
Comfort, Derland,
Yes.
Ferguson, Jaczynski.
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0.
C, the Personnel Committee recommends acceptance with regret of a letter of resignation from Crystal Struck, elementary teacher, effective at the end of the 1920 school year, and I so move.
Second.
My
I have a
only-
motion and a second. Any discussion?
Okay, I guess we still don't have any unknowns, but if the date of the end of the school year is a little later, will we still have her, do you know? I mean, obviously, you don't, it's not a big deal, we go to source for teachers, but
Well, we, contractually, we can hold them for 60 days. So, I would assume that we would, because we contractually hold them for 60 days.
Okay.
That's just the end of June anyway.
Yeah.
right.
I mean,
But I know she has another job. But I don't know when she started, but actually we will hold her for 60 days.
Some of our retired teachers know that, they don't vote because they're not quite sure, you know, they would definitely put something, I think, if they had a definite date.
Yeah.
Okay, any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Phillips,
Yes.
Stockton,
Yes.
Rossi,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Comfort, Derland,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Machinsky,
Yes.
Pinella.
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0.
D, the Personnel Committee recommends approval to post and advertise for the vacancy created by item A, and I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
E, the Personnel Committee recommends approval to post and advertise for the vacancy created by item B, and I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
That is all for personnel.
Okay.
Can you see what necessary? I'm sure that I get a affirmative response.
Yes, I apologize. Yes, I will. Policy and procedures. A policy and procedure committee recommends the following policy as a second read. Policy 233, suspension and expulsions, and I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Stockton,
Yes.
Rossi,
No.
Chase,
Yes.
Comfort,
Yes.
Derland.
No.
Is that a no?
No. That is
Ferguson?
no.
Yes.
Nachinsky,
Yes.
Pinella,
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-2.
The Policy and Procedure Committee recommends acceptance of the following policies for the first read. Policy 707, use of school facilities. Policy 805.2, school security personnel, and I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Rossi,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Comfort, Derland,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Nachinsky,
Yes.
Pinella,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Stockton.
Yes.
Motion carries 9-0.
The Policy and Procedure Committee recommends approval of the Sullivan County Board Resolution calling for charter school funding reform, and I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
What exactly are we saying?
I don't have the reform with me, but basically it says that they have to bring their finances, what they're charging us, in line with what we're paying, correct, Doug?
Yeah, as it is now, in cyber charter school, tuition varies depending on the home district of the student, and that's exclusive of what the cost is to actually educate. So when we do our budget, zero-based budgeting, our tuition is based on what it actually costs for the student. So if they're providing instruction for a student virtually and it costs them $5,700, they still get to collect $16,000. So all it's saying is they should have a budget like the other districts to demonstrate what it actually costs to educate that student. And, especially so when it comes to special education, if it costs us $36,000 to educate a special ed student, and they might have a student with speech and language that receives support over the internet, and they only cost them $5,700. So it's not reflective of the services that are actually charged for that student. It's what the home district charges. We have to provide infrastructure for the specialists, so that's what that's.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Chase,
Yes.
Comfort,
Yes.
Derlin,
No.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Nachinsky,
Yes.
Pinella,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Stockville,
Yes.
Bussey. Motion carries 8-1.
A policy and procedure committee will appoint a member to serve as a board PSBA representative. Mr. Stockdale has offered to do that for us. If he can't do it, I would do it, but he is offered. Do I need to have a motion to do that?
It's good.
Okay, and I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Comfort,
Yes.
Derlin,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Nachinsky,
Yes.
Pinella,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Stockville,
Yes.
Lossy,
Yes.
Chase.
Yes.
Motion carries 9-0.
Okay, that's all for policy and procedure. Transportation, Ms. Ferguson.
Only one item tonight. The Transportation Committee recommends approval to add Laurie Murray and Derek Brady to the list of approved substitute school bus drivers, and I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Derlin,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Nachinsky,
Yes.
Pinella,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Stockville,
Yes.
Lossy, Chase,
Yes.
Comfort.
Yes.
The motion carries 9-0.
And that's all for transportation.
Thank you. Board reports, Mr. Blasey. Mr. Stockwell.
We did have IU meeting last week and we did approve, virtual meetings. Now we can actually count them for a quorum. That was about it. And we have passed all the motions that we've seen here today to pay the bills and all that.
Mr. Chinsky.
Nothing.
I'd just like to thank Lance for trying to set this up for us.
And then there's a lot to, get that squared away.
We have met.
Mr. Comfort.
No.
Mr. Chase.
Nothing.
Mrs. Pinella.
Nothing.
Mr. Derlin.
No, just want to echo the comments made for Lance. I think now we know what the challenges are going to be going forward. So, at least we got a good starting point. So thank you, Lance.
How come I can hear him now?
Okay, and we will go to public input. Lance, do you have any public input first?
At this time, there was one person that emailed me, how do I ask a question? But they didn't get back to me with the actual question. I sent them back, just let me know, and they also have one on the meeting at this time.
Okay, thank you. For any public that wanted to have public input, we apologize. With the governor's rule, we're only supposed to have 10 people, and we're over that now, so, I'll accept the motion to adjourn, and then we will go into executive session.
So you could adjourn.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, we will be going into executive session in just a few moments.